Good evening, everyone. Man to Man with Lee E. Stevens and myself, Elliot J. Powell. How are you doing, Lee, man?
Not bad, thank you, sir. Not bad. It's been a big week. It's a very
I was
big
going to say,
week.
don't
But
overwhelm me with all that energy there. Oh, you nearly blew me off. Good job I'm sitting down on the floor.
no, it's been good. It's been good. It's been a busy week. I'm moving house this weekend. So yeah, always a stressful time leading up to that. Um,
Oh, God. It
but
stresses me out so much moving house.
it's
I
so
don't,
much to do.
I don't know why. I'm on the flat hunt as well. I was viewing some properties today, and it's just that bit's fine, but the move itself is stressful, isn't it? Come on.
It's yeah, it's not. I've got loads to take, but at the same time, I have, and I always don't like. I mean, I'm moving Saturday, and I haven't packed a single thing yet. So yeah.
Oh, there's a good segue from for our our subject today of talking about a relationship with things, and we've got some things that we can talk about. What is your relationship with like throwing things away, like hoarding, or trying to
Hoarding.
be more minimalistic? Where do you lie on that spectrum?
Um, Clothes, I'm awful
Hmm.
for. Like I have so many clothes and so many pairs of trainers. My mum has always been like, Lee, you don't need more trainers, you don't need more clothes. I've always been the one to like buy, even when I was younger, I was always the one that just like buying new shit. I'm a big consumer.
Yeah.
Um, for clothes, I do hold on to a lot longer than I probably should. Most other things, not really. Like,
No.
no,
Like there's always that thing of like my mum or mums in general. You're just using my experiences in. They've always got something for every occasion. Like
yeah.
a year's supply of birthday cards in case the situation comes up, and then there's just all the old. Maybe it's different when you have kids, but like all the old toys and stuff from childhood,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah. I
you
think mine
know,
are in the loft. Definitely, they're in the loft at home. But I think,
I'm quite.
yeah, I think the world's changed a little bit now, though, right? Like people also don't. I mean, I might be just totally making this up, but I feel like people don't stay in their same place for as long anymore. Like, no one spends as much time in one place. I don't think like nowadays people spend 30 years in the same household, do they?
No, yeah. Good question. Do people settle in the same place for less time? I think that potentially our generation will, settle in. I think maybe that's social media as well. People, comparing and fueling from comparison and always wanting more.
Yeah,
We've spoke about that before about
yeah,
being being satisfied or wanting more, haven't we? It's
yeah.
just it's a tough one. I think yeah, people are always looking for the bigger and better thing.
It's also just nice change as well, right? It's also more accessible than ever. Well, obviously not now because COVID decided to kick everyone in the bollocks, but it's more accessible than ever before to travel and just be freely able to go somewhere. Um, so yeah, so I don't see why people would always want to stay in the same place. I get it, and it's nice to settle down in a place. And I suppose when you have a family, it's kind of a bit of a necessity. But at the same time, can you travel around when you have family? I think you can, if you choose your time right.
Yeah, I think a big grounding point is children, isn't it? And therefore schools, and you have to be in the same place for a
Mm.
while, and disrupting their friendship and moving them about is a really big decision to make.
Yeah, agreed.
Could you do like the van life thing? Could you live out of a van, like being on the move?
Not long term. But I've always, I think one of my big lifetime dreams will be to like get a really nice, swanky, like a Humvee sort of thing, and do a good sort of like year or two, probably even like 2 years, and just drive around the world. I would love to do that. I think that
Mm.
would be absolutely incredible and one of the most amazing experiences ever.
You like
Um,
you're investing, don't you? So a little bit of residual income, and then just boom on the
I could just
road
do it on the
driving.
road, yeah, do it on the road, a bit of investing whilst you're doing it, a bit of day trading, and yeah, you're good to go. I would love to do that. I would love to do it. That'd be incredible. Um, but yeah, long term goal for me that is for sure.
Mm, mm. So
Could you see
things.
yourself on the road a little bit?
Well, I'm setting myself up for that potentially. I try and make decisions based on giving myself free time, making sure I'm enjoying what I'm doing, rather than and also, by giving myself free time, I'm working on having residual income, so everything sort of covers itself, financially free, if you want to call it that way. It's not a sales call, but you know what I mean. Fucking hell. So I think I could do it. That's the thing, is I could actually leave London. I
Yeah,
could travel. I'd have enough money coming in to sustain myself. Um, I think I'd like to do it with someone.
yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
I feel comfortable enough in myself. That they say about going traveling to like find yourself, but I think I've done enough self work in the sense of that I know who I am. I'm not really searching for any answers elsewhere. It'd just be nice to share some experiences, go
Yeah, I
traveling with
agree.
someone, I think.
Yeah, you think you hit the nail on the head there, even with me. I can resonate with that for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. So today, things. Let's list some and then come back to them. What things are we going to talk about our relationships with?
A relationship with career, I suppose. Relationship with
Career,
your
yeah,
your
nice.
working life. Relationship with sleep.
Hmm.
Um, I suppose we can be generic on it, but like relationship with like health and fitness as an overarching topic,
Yeah,
and we can delve deeper into
yeah.
that.
Rather than us as fitness professionals, just in general, our own, you know,
Yeah,
fit our own well being and health as well. Health,
yeah,
yeah, that's the one.
yeah. Relationship
Alcohol,
with alcohol. Yep, definitely one. Um, Sleep, yeah, is obviously one we discussed.
sleep.
Rest and the ability to slow down and like
Ooh,
operate
that's a
in at
good
a
one.
slower pace.
I think that's a better one for you. I'm pretty good at doing that. I'm
Ah,
Mr.
mate,
Chill.
I can do that if I need to. Don't worry. I paid my fair share of Call of Duty of this last year. Don't worry about
Yeah, we did actually. We spoke about that one actually. That you did.
that.
You learned to slow down again though. It was like a relearning of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Because I used to love it when I was a kid, and like mum. I mean, I also used to get out and about, and I was very active and like to get outside. But I also spent a lot of time behind a console. Yeah, a lot of time.
Right. Okay. What should we tackle first?
I think sleep. I think we should talk about sleep first. I think
Ooh,
sleep's important. Sleep
good
is
one.
king. I'm big on sleep. I have a lot of value on my sleep, and that's one thing that like when these things start to normalize again, I don't want to be up at the crack of dawn every single morning. I see value in being up early and getting things done early, but like to the detriment of sleep, I don't think it's always worth it.
Yeah, agreed. I think the sleep schedule and getting the sleep in the same times and training your body. I don't know enough about the science of it, but I know that that's really important for you. And I think that I've read, and if anyone in the audience knows more about it, then please hit some up with some knowledge. Um, Undersleeping is your body gets used to it and think it's fine, but actually it's like sleep deprivation. You don't know you've got it. That's a bad thing. So making sure you get enough sleep. But I've also heard that oversleeping and sleeping too much can be really bad for you. Um, I've had times where I oversleeping, getting more sleep than I need to, especially in lockdown. Sometimes sleeping in too much.
I think so,
Um,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I think it's super important. I think that I've struggled with my sleep schedule. I think that what you said. Sorry, what I wanted to say is about you, the early morning thing. I think there's a lot of pressure for people to feel like they have to do the miracle morning or 6 a.m. club. You hear a lot about it in the business stuff and the productive side of things. Um, I prefer to focus on quality sleep at a time that works for you. I think is a healthier way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree, but yeah, and also people are wired differently. I am definitely a morning person. I operate better in the mornings without a shadow of a doubt. Always have done. Whereas someone can definitely be more of a night owl and operate better in the evening. So if that's their relationship, then maybe they do go to bed at I don't know 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But like yeah, they sleep until if their I suppose work and lifestyle allows them to sleep in a little bit longer, then all for it. As long as you are getting those sort of like 8 hours, I think it's just the most important thing.
Oh yeah, what's your take on hours? How many do you need, and how many do you think people need?
I'm good on seven. Seven as a minimum. I can do six, but I'll need a good like. Thing is with me, I can comfortably operate on 6 hours, but I will
So you don't
need at least
you
I
don't feel
need at
tired in
least
the morning if you have six.
I'll battle for it. Coffee and I'm good. I'm good to go. Um, but I'll need throughout the week at some point either a good nap or I'll need a solid sleep. Like I'll need a solid like 9 hour night, and then
To
I'm
catch up.
like, I'm good. Yeah, but I could quite easily come like operate for 4 or 5 days on 6 hours.
Do you think that I'm definitely not a morning person either, like to the extreme degree? Do you think that's just because I don't drink coffee and people just are wired on caffeine? I literally don't drink any caffeine or caffeine whatsoever. So maybe that makes me
Yeah,
sluggish and not a morning person.
maybe so, but it might also be a good thing, like that might being someone who I mean I love coffee and I mean I have three a day.
Do you? Do you
Yeah,
ever get you know the feeling the heart? Obviously, you track your heart rate sometimes when you're exercising, but you never get any
no,
heart rate palpitations or any anxiety that comes from that.
no,
Because
never.
I've heard of that as well.
If
Yeah.
I the only time I'll get that is if I have like a big pre-workout coffee, which would be like a big double espresso before, I'll then really feel that. If I have like a flat white, which is usually my go-to coffee, I don't really feel much from it. Um, I mean, I've heard a lot of things about having a detox from coffee to then have the effects of the actual caffeine are supposed to be better, or like a little bit your body becomes more susceptible to it over time, right? So then you got to have that detox and then like
Yeah.
get the real sort of effects to come back. I probably should do that, and I've been saying that for years, but I never have.
Well, it's a drug at the end of the day, and we can get onto legal drugs next. Yeah, I'm the same as you, but I'm 1 hour more. I think I'm good with 8, and I'll be fine with 7.
Yeah,
I do prefer my 8 every night. Just to feel good.
agreed.
How are you falling asleep? How are you falling asleep? Are you one of those annoying people that you can head on the pillow and then bum you out?
Yeah, so typically I am, without a doubt. I always have been.
Oh fuck
Um,
you! I hate you.
yeah, I've to be fair, yeah, I've had exes in the past or parents been like, yeah, like I don't understand how you go to sleep so quick. Like I can literally turn over and I'm gone. But as of recently, there's been a lot going on. I think subconscious stress plays a big part in your ability to sleep
Hmm.
and fall asleep. Like there's been a lot of stuff going on with me this week, and I think I laid there for 2 hours last night. Like
Yeah.
no word of lie, no exaggeration. 2 hours
it's,
just like
it's affected that you feel that what's going on in your life has affected your sleep schedule and your ability to get to sleep for sure. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's me a lot. Like I get very creative, lots of ideas, overthinker, so think through conversations that going to have, you know, ideas, like all sorts of things at night, like racing. So I did definitely find it, it can be a regular occurrence that it's taken me hours to fall asleep. But just a shout out to one of the previous guests, Nabil. I've been doing some cadence breathing for the past, say, a month, which is exhaling for twice as long as you inhale, and that's really, really helped cutting
really
that falling to sleep time really down to like 10 minutes most nights now, which is awesome.
nice. Nice. Yeah, I've heard. There's a lot to say for breathwork. I've heard a lot of good things about breathwork. Um, so yeah, I'd like to explore it a little bit more. Definitely.
Yeah. So if anyone is watching this now or in the future and they're struggling with sleep, and just give it a go. You got to so whatever you choose. So say for example, breathe in for 4, count to 4, and then breathe out for 8, and then just keep repeating that, and that lowers your heart rate, brings it down. You probably have to do something else. Nabil said, as in to keep your mind busy. Um, or not racing, because once you get into the habit of that, it's quite a simple task to do, and your mind can
Yeah,
think of other
for sure.
stuff. So you got to lock it onto, anything else that you would do, like combine it with counting sheep, for example, or combine
Yeah,
it with whatever you like to do, scan your body, or those other things.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so, like
What's next?
drugs and alcohol.
Drugs and alcohol. My relationship with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, but I can go first if you want.
Oh no, I'm happy to go first. I'll go first. I mean, I'm pretty. I mean, I'm like, I'm not. addicted to anything, that's for sure. I have a very good relationship with both. When it comes to alcohol, definitely, like I enjoy a good social drink. I can happily take a glass of wine in the evening to like chill out and calm down. I'm never one of those people. I was discussing this with my housemate earlier. Like, I'm never one of those people who's like, oh, do you know what? I really need a drink to like calm down with stress. And I think like that potentially is like a more of a mental game than like an actual or like a physical response to wanting an alcoholic beverage. But yeah, I think I'm good with that. And drugs only come into play when it's party time, mate. So
Yeah. We have to be careful what we say, and at mental health, we're not obviously promoting anything that's against the law, but also in the same breath, you have to know what's personally right for yourself, and make your own decisions. We've learned in the past that things that are sometimes, I should have to be careful what I say, but sometimes that are legal, they become legal. It's just rules that people have said. But let's not get too political. I'll end up getting thrown in jail. But yeah, alcohol. I'm the same actually, but I think from how you described it, I like a drink a bit more. Like, I'm a northern bloke. I love going to the pub and having like 4 or 5 pints, but I have a healthy relationship in the sense of I love like tasting craft beer and alcohol, and I can just have 1 or 2 cans in the house or even at the pub. I can go for 1 pint and then leave. Like there's never any situation where I feel like
you have to get that drunk response.
Yeah, I have to keep going. But I do sometimes feel like I'm ready. I want to have a blowout. Like now, like I'm itching and frustrated to being in the whole time. I want to go get wasted. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I can't wait to sip a cold pint. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
it's going to be very nice. It's going to be a very, very good feeling.
And then
I'm on the same page with you, that for sure.
Yeah, drugs wise, I guess for what I can say online is that I rarely ever do any at all, but I think there's a lot of benefit in CBD and marijuana if taken correctly. So I'm an advocate, not an outspoken one, but every couple of months I would do something along those lines. But I would actually like to make it part of my schedule, like my weekly routine, if I could find a healthy way to do it. I just don't like smoking because of lungs. I don't think that I used to be asthmatic. It's not something that I really want to be doing, but I'd like to have a bit of that in the system every now and then. I think it's got health benefits. Right. What else did we say we're going to check in our relationship
with the ability to slow down or rest? Ooh. Or like operate at a slower pace? How are you with that?
Amazing. I'm too kind. I'm literally so kind to myself. I just let myself rest if I need to. I'll just I build my schedule around free time, like I said, and sometimes I never feel guilty about not doing anything. I trust myself that I'll get what I need to do. I'll get it done.
Yeah.
Work good under pressure if the deadline's coming closer. I'm bad at procrastinating. There is cons to it, but I'll only take things that I want to do within certain hours. Like we're speaking, like in combination with sleep and being a morning person. I don't have my work schedule. I don't teach any morning classes, for example. Don't do it. I didn't take them. I create my schedule around how I want to have my rest. And important to have rest days. I think it's really important to have schedule them in before you need them, so it doesn't become a that's a lesson I heard the hard way, but I think people are really good at saying it, but then doing it, two different things. What about you?
I agree. I'm very much in the same wavelength as you. I think I go in peaks and troughs. I sometimes have the ability to really relax and take my foot off the gas a little bit, and then I'll also go through phases where I'm focused, head down, motivated, and I want to just get shit done. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I've definitely gone in peaks and troughs. I think ever since the first lockdown, I've realised that I don't have to be operating at the same intensity or the level that I was before, and I can just like maneuver my schedule, maneuver the way that I want to live my life. I'm very lucky that we're in this industry and we can do this. To be honest, um, but yeah, it was a big wake up call that first lockdown for me to like know that I don't have to be doing silly hours outside the gym and I can slow things down if I need to. Um,
Yeah,
so
I've
yeah,
seen there's a lot of I saw in the news, and I don't know if it's been passed, but a lot of companies are signing up to 3-day weekends. Like they're going to go for it after the lockdown, and I think that's amazing. Like if people are more well rested and they're more motivated, you can get a lot more done in little time, and
yeah.
trusting people that to you know it's more beneficial. Like as a trainer, I'm sure that applies, right? If you're well rested and you get your recovery in, you can do more, you can do better.
Agreed, and that's the thing as well. I also go in peaks and troughs in my training. And at the moment, I'm training for turf games for this coming summer. So my training at the moment is very intense, and
Mm-hmm.
I realistically I've set myself the aim to be in the best condition I've ever been in. Come turf games, I want to be the fittest I've ever been. I want to be the strongest I've ever been, and I want to like go there and make a point and really do a good job. Um, so training for me at the moment is really intense, that coupled with getting shit sleep and not being able to slow down at times where I need to slow down and then working too much will have a huge hindrance on my training.
Yeah,
Yes, I need to also understand that training is not going to pay my bills. Training is not going to, what I get at the end of that turf games is not going to really contribute too much to my life other than like
personal
it's an achieve.
accolade. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a personal accolade. It's an achievement. So I need to bear that in mind as well. And it needs to be like middle ground. I'm not a professional athlete. Like I'm not doing this for a career. So yeah,
yeah, but I get it. I get it, and that's the problem. Is if you've got other stuff going on, you feel like any spare time you've got, you need to be training, you need to be hitting it hard. So
mm.
the psychology, it's really easy to fall into that trap of
Yeah, for sure.
that. The more you put in, the better it's going to be. It just doesn't always work like that, does it?
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
it's a full
And
the full go on.
and it's also it's not just sleep that's going to allow you to recover. It's not just slowing down that's going to allow you to recover. Like, am I doing like my mobility? Am I stretching? Am I getting, manual therapy, whether that be massage, chiropractor, physio, to like keep me going? Because the sort of stuff that I'm doing is pretty intense. I do have niggles. I do have injuries. So like knowing like where the line is and not trying to push myself too much is something that I need to get better at it. I always do go in peaks and troughs, and I've always been this sort of person. Um, but yeah, I just need to sometimes take a step back from it. But at the same time, when you got a goal in mind, it's hard to slow down.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Especially when it's when things are time locked. Like the competition is set, it's coming up at a certain time. It's not like take it in your own time. Let's do it through
Do you know what I
building
would
the
like to ask
foundations.
actually? Because I,
Go on.
I actually, I think relationship with the word success
Oh, nice.
and what you think success is and how you define success. Because I spoke about this on a podcast that I've launched. Plug, plug, plug. Um, and
Being sapient, don't you know?
so yeah, we discussed this on my podcast with Harry Sellers, and I find it fascinating different people's
Yeah,
definitions
yeah,
of success.
yeah. And that's what I think. That's a nice thing, though. As in, as long as it feels healthy, then it doesn't matter what it is. As long as it's everyone can have their own version of it, which is a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if my opinion will be the same. I can imagine it's a lot more hippie or whatever you want to call it. But my definition of success is it's not even being happy, because that's a weird concept, because I feel like aiming for happiness all the time isn't possible. You have to be um, you have to have ebbs and flows. To know
Mm,
what happiness feels like, you have to know what not the opposite feels like. So success to me is being content in what you're doing, making sure that you have enough time for yourself, enough time to make an impact, to do something that you believe in, that you're on a can you sit there and say that I'm proud of how I spend my time, because that's the one resource that
mm.
we've got. I feel like I'm um, not making a difference, because that means, for me, that would be my version of success, but I don't think that applies to everyone. I don't think that every person has to, you know, just yeah. It's a really hard one to nail down, isn't it? Words
It's,
wise and
it
conceptually.
is, and yeah, exactly that. And it's the way you articulate, the way I articulate. We might have very similar views, and I think me and you probably do have similar views on success. Um, I definitely growing up, I saw success as the material things without a shadow of a doubt, like the big car, the fancy car, the big house. Like your salary when you're in your job, like what industry you're working in. That was definitely what I saw growing up, for a shadow without a doubt. I've changed so much. I don't get me wrong, I'm very ambitious and I want to do well in life and I want to earn some decent money. So it allows you to have some freedom to do what you want when you want. But that for me is the exact definition of success: being able to wake up in the morning and at your own schedule, on your own time, and at your own accord, being able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want to do it with. And that for
Mm.
me is ultimate success, because you're essentially what everyone really is looking for. And I've listened to this on a podcast with a guy called Peter Crone, who names himself the mind architect. And he's like, what everyone realistically is looking for with every sort of task they're doing in their life is just to be free. Everyone just wants freedom. You work your job to earn money, to know that you can have a sort of freedom to do something with that money. Or you spend time with a specific person to know that, like, that person you're spending time with makes you feel free and makes you feel yourself,
Mm.
which is very
Yeah,
compelling.
yeah. Uh, being that, because that's it kind of works for a lot of people there. Then you're not tied to a certain thing. Whatever you choose to do. See, it's hard, isn't it? Because if you live in a certain way, if you're living in society, then you do need an element of financial. You need money. For me,
Yeah.
success has nothing to do with money, and I know that a lot of people say that and then still chase a promotion, still chase.
Mm.
Um, but I do a lot. I do most of my things for free. I'll give away my time for free because I
Yeah.
because I want to. Um,
Yeah.
but
But
I only in a sit. Go on.
you're similar in the respect with me. I'm very similar with you when we say about our time. I know that by doing this, like, we don't get paid for this. Like, no, eventually further down the line, if it's something might come from this, and you might get an opportunity, someone might reach out to you that's been on the podcast or on the live, and wants to know a little bit more, and might give you an opportunity to offer you something. But me and you aren't doing this for any monetary gain. We're not looking for like money in the bank from this. We're doing this to, like, inspire people. We're doing this to motivate people. We're doing this to learn more about each other. Like, we're not coming on here and being like, oh, like, this is going to get us £1,000 in the next year.
No, no, no.
Like,
I think, yeah, I don't think that's no gain to it whatsoever. I love to be able to do more. And at the moment, I'm working at my capacity, what feels right for me. But if there was a world where I got, say, some corporate sponsorship, then I could put more time into it. The money would go back into it to like get a bigger reach and more quality.
exactly
And
that.
do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's how it would work in my head anyway.
exactly.
So if you're thinking of giving money, don't we still need it, and
Yeah, we're not
mental
saying
health still
don't.
needs.
We are saying reach out.
But yeah, I do. I think rank money a lot lower than a lot of people. Like, I'm sure I can't sit here and big myself up, but I'm sure a lot of my friends and family would vouch for me on that respect. What else did we? I think we've got one more thing to cover, haven't we? When it comes to relationship with things, I feel like there's maybe one
There is,
more.
but it's totally gone out my head. Oh, like wellness in general, relationship with
Oh
like
yeah,
wellness, health.
health. You know
Yeah,
what? I'm going to hold my hands up and say I'm probably not hypocritical because I always say that I'm on the same page as everyone else. I'm a human and not even make mistakes, but try and be as honest as possible. I don't treat. I wait for like periods of time to treat my body well. I don't do it all the time.
mm,
I try and put habits in place that keep my mind well, but I don't like my diet. Even though I'm plant based, I try and do my bit for the environment and doing that change my perception of how I think about um, you know using animals as food. I still eat pretty shitty. I don't need. I don't. I'm not expending that much energy at the moment. I don't need like top quality food to get by and to feel happy.
mm,
So I'm not training hard at the moment. I don't need. So I could spend a lot more money and time on my wellness, and I'm guilty of. Even though we were just talking about money, I'd maybe spend something for a quicker fix than I would for something that's maybe longevity for my health. I'm getting much better at it.
okay,
But yeah,
yeah,
I just wanted to hold my hands up and say that because it's easy for me to, and it's hard as well because I don't at the moment I haven't worked out for 3 months and I've still got a six pack, and
yeah.
I'm not trying to say that to like that's the last thing I want to do. Like that's just a fact. I can't change that. Like I've kept in a calorie deficit in the right way, not on purpose, just needing less energy, so eating less.
And
And
just
it
for
sounds
your own education, you know what works for you, right?
yeah, yeah.
You know your body probably better than anyone. So like,
But that's what's dangerous. Is in I'm trying to say the reason I'm bringing this up to say it out loud is not to be arrogant, is to be the opposite and go. That's not what's going on the inside all the time. My arteries are not fully clear of all the bob and biscuits I've eaten. Do you know what I mean? Like that it is true. So
yeah, no,
it's
you're
just
right.
another thing of perception and social media. So and
Yeah,
you
no, you're right.
hit me. What about you? What about your opinions?
I think my general health and well-being is pretty decent. To be fair, I am very lucky in the fact that I have all my food done for me 5 days a week.
Oh yeah,
From
you got
from
the
Fresh Fitness, yeah,
FFF.
Fresh Fitness food. So they did my meals, 3 meals a day for 5 days a week. Sometimes I carry some over if I don't eat some of them. Um, don't get me wrong, I'm partial to Deliveroo, just the next person without a shadow of a doubt. Like I had Lebanese tonight. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm squeaky clean. I do have my fair share of shit as well, like, and I enjoy that. I train my ass off to allow me to enjoy those, like more calorie dense foods and less nutritious foods. But that's just me. Um, I train. I've been training for the last 3 4 months, 5 days a week, at least, and I've been hitting it pretty hard. So that in that respect, I've been very very lucky that I'm able to do that, and I cannot be more grateful to obviously work at Core Collective and been able to actually go in and train there because it's been amazing.
Is
Um,
is training as much as you do though actually good for your physical health?
well, I'd say so, yes, because I yes, I train 5 times a week, but or maybe sometimes six, but I structure it in a way that I'm not absolutely battering myself.
Because it's programmed correctly, basically, because you're a
Exactly, yeah.
fitness
So
professional. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so there's like 3 times a week might just be purely based on my engine work and getting my conditioning better, and then 2 3 times a week might be based on more strength based work. But I'm never just like going in and just like making stuff up. I've got goals and aims and things I want to do with my training. So there's nothing that's like just going in and making it up. And then I also try at least once a month to see my chiropractor,
Ooh.
which is a luxury for me, but it's something that I put a lot of value on because I do have a few injuries and compensations that carried over from me tearing my ACL. So I need a little bit of I'll just call it like an MOT once a month, just to like click me and crack me and like maneuver me back into place. And if any other little niggles arise, then like he can have a look at that. But all round, I do try to look after myself.
Yeah, when I I up that recovery and stretching when I'm training more. So like I'll do more yin yoga and some stretching when I'm training more on the bike and doing stuff. So that's what maybe I should be better at doing it even when I'm not training. That's the thing, isn't it? And I think that's the common misconception. The common misconception that even if you work at a desk, you still need to look after your body and do exercises and
Without a doubt, yeah.
reset them.
And that's the thing as well. People. I mean, the people that sit down at a desk when they get into training, if you do have a desk job, remember how much time of your day you spend at the desk. Going to training for an hour is not going to fix it all. Like, you have to do stuff outside of that training to allow you to get better. And if you do have like a lot of people that sit at a desk will end up getting lower back pain. It's just natural. Like, you will get lower back pain because of the way you are sitting in your desk and the muscles that you can't see in the mirror. Your glutes, your hamstrings, all your posterior chain is totally switched off. It's not working. So there's a reason for that. You're not going to fix that in an hour. So like, look after yourself if you are sitting at a desk. That's my piece of advice.
Yeah, you jumped in with that. Good advice. I've got one question for you, and I'm putting you on the spot a tiny bit. You mentioned about training to be able to eat. Do you think that that's a healthy mindset for everyone?
Okay, I might have phrased that wrong. I don't think it's healthy at all for people to train to be able to treat themselves to food. So I don't advocate that.
Yeah, that's why I don't think you did. So that's why I just wanted to revisit that slightly.
Yeah, no. So I don't advocate that at all. We're not fucking hamsters. Like, you do not need to be running around on a wheel in order to earn yourself some food. Like, we're not hamsters. Don't act like one. I think
it's the other way around, right? It's food fuels the good fuel.
Exactly that. Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, yes, I am partial to a lot of shit food sometimes, but I do put in the work that allows me to eat that food and it not really hinder my performance. I said this on I think it was one of my podcasts, or it might have been a post I did. I think a post I did on Instagram actually about why I train and how I now train much more for performance instead of aesthetics. Because for me, if you're just purely training aesthetic goals, I don't think you'll ever be happy, because like, people have body dysmorphia and people have like muscle dysmorphia as well. You don't always see like how good you actually potentially look in the mirror, and you're never really going to be happy with that person that you're looking in the mirror, because like, it can change so quickly in such a short space of time, and there might be someone else that you see on Instagram or someone else that you see on another social media platform that you might like, I want to look like more like that person. Well, like, that's also another thing that's bad. Don't aspire to be someone else, just aspire to be a better version of you. But yeah, eating food as a treat because you've worked hard is just such a bad trap to get into.
And is this I think it's Hummel, the brand that I say work for, but promote sometimes because they give me free stuff. Their motto is don't train because don't train like because you hate your body, train because you love it. Like, this is it's a similar sort of thing when it comes to food. Is like, you only get one body. It needs exercise. It needs mobility. It needs looking after. Don't train because you hate the way it looks and you want to change it. We just have to discover what works for our bodies, right? Our specific ones. It's all going to be different.
Yeah, no, you're very right.
Well, mate, good chat. I feel like we covered a various amounts of subject, but we had a running theme going through. That was pretty good considering we didn't know what the hell we were going to talk about.
No, I enjoyed that. It was good. I hope people got some value from that, because I thought there was a few knowledge bombs in there, to be honest. But
Yeah, mate, you were banging them out. I soaked it up. So even if it's just for me, mate, thank you and appreciate it. Always appreciate it, Lee. And
Very, very
you know,
welcome.
I'll
Lovely
see
chat.
you. Yeah, lovely chat, and I'll see everybody soon. Stay well, and have you got a last minute knowledge bomb for us, Lee? Considering you're on a
Last bit
roll.
knowledge bomb. Uh, my
Quick.
post. I figured it yesterday.
Okay.
True happiness is the
Yeah.
absence of the search for happiness.
Ooh, philosophical. I like it.
Deep,
All right. So,
very
so I
deep.
can't. I can't go looking for happiness.
No, don't look for that, mate.
What should I look for? Some more biscuits now. Now the stream's ended.
That'll make you happy. Make me happy.
Right. Cheers, everyone. Speak to you all soon.
See you,
Bye
people.
bye.